Hello, welcome back to Beers, Bourbon, and Games. I'm your co-host Mike, and with me as always is...
Conquer Corey.
And it has been a little over a year since the PlayStation 5 came out, so we thought we would do a kind of report card on it to see what we think about it. Let's get into it. So, let's start with the most important thing, just like we did with the Xbox video. Let's start with the games. And the big thing that steps out to me when we talk about the games on the PlayStation 5 is Demon Souls?
Hey, it's a good one. So yeah, Demon Souls was the main reason I bought a PlayStation 5. I know a lot of people bought it for that reason.
I bought it for that.
But the thing here is that's a remake.
Yeah.
I guess you could consider it a console exclusive. Astro's Playroom.
Astro's Playroom was a big console exclusive.
That was criminally underrated, by the way. If you have Astro's Playroom on your PS5 and you have not played it, it is the most entertaining user manual I've ever seen.
It was so nice. It's a tech demo. It's what it is. You get to play a fun game, and you get to see all the cool features that your PlayStation can do. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it myself. And I mean, at least the PlayStation itself, I guess, had exclusives. That's one thing in the Xbox video we pointed out is that the Xbox didn't really have exclusives.
Medium.
Besides the medium, but again, that was on like PC. But still, I think the medium was only one. But the PlayStation isn't much better. I think there was 5
Let's
or
see.
6.
But we also have Miles Morales, which, hear me out, Spider-Man fans. Don't kill me. Just don't interest me. Spider-Man games don't interest superhero games don't interest me for the most part. Very few have now.
Yeah.
And to me, it seemed like it was a DLC shoved into a full game.
It kind of felt like that to me. A lot of the... It was a fun game. It really was. Of course, I like Spider-Man games. I remember back from the Tobey Maguire days when that game came out. That was so much fun. Usually superhero games don't interest me, though, but the Spider-Man ones are a lot of fun.
They did give you the Spider-Man game remaster, though, the free upgrade.
You did get that, and that was really nice because I've got it downloaded. I haven't actually played it yet because I didn't play it when it originally came out on PS4 either. So it was nice to get that so that I could play that and then play the DLC Miles Morales, which is technically a full game.
Another one we got is Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Which, don't kill me again, I've never played one of them.
I haven't either.
If you think it's a game we should try on the channel, let us know. We've never played it. I've never had an interest to play it, and forgive me, I used to love the Crash Bandicoot games back in the day.
I love Crash Bandicoot, and I love Jak and Dexter, which is, in my mind, kind of that style of game, so maybe we need to play it. What do you think?
But like I said, I think that was a first-party exclusive.
Yeah. Destruction All-Stars, is that the name of that party game that came out at launch that was an exclusive?
I had no idea what that is. Wasn't there one that was, what am I thinking of here?
Returnal?
The Dark Souls in space!
Yeah, it was like a procedural generated random game that you would play until you died and then you restarted over and the enemies are different and stuff.
It was kind of cool. How did this get by me?
I don't know. It was just one of those games that came out. I think at the time there was like 5 or 6 other games that came. Oh, Resident Evil Village came out at the same time. That's what it was.
Oh.
And we were all over that. So.
Sorry, Returnal team.
Yeah. We might have to go back and look at that.
Some Capcom executive right now is like, good.
Dance, puppets, dance!
But, so... really not a whole lot.
There really wasn't. I mean, there was more exclusive games for the PlayStation that came out than the Xbox, but 5 compared to 1 is not very many. And a lot of that, we said this in our last video, it could have been the state of the world is in. Could have held a lot of stuff back. And there's also the first year of games coming out that they're releasing stuff for old systems because they're hard to get and things like that. So, I mean, you had all your huge library of PlayStation 4 games that you could play. But that was about it. Touching on games, too, backwards compatibility for me with this system has become more of a frustration the longer I've had the system. I have had a lot of joy out of playing the older games, and due to research and things that we've heard is that this system is definitely capable of emulating the old games, just like the
Series
Xbox,
X.
the Series X is doing. They just don't do it, and I understand. I understand they want to make money. They're a company that is their company. Their whole goal is to make money, and I know they want to resell those games, but it's just a value to the system if you could do that. If I have a massive collection of PS1 games, and if I could slap one of those suckers in and it downloaded the game just like the Series X did, that'd be amazing.
Oh yes, I would even pay for a one time. I'd pay a fee for that feature.
Oh, I would too. Like,
To play my old the Digimon World 2,
oh yes,
all those old games. And I know you're gonna think, what in the world is that? Just look it up. Do yourself a favor.
a lot of fun.
But the problem is, and like I said, you mentioned it there. Like you said, we're in that first year, and you kind of have a not that great. Most consoles don't really have that great of a first year.
Yeah,
Normally, you get a big blockbuster. Xbox didn't get theirs until like the end of the year.
right.
But the I think honestly, and a lot of people are going to hate me for this. I think the only reason that made this as appealing as it was is that it could play your PlayStation 4 games. You could do an upgrade and keep your game library.
Right.
If they didn't include PS4 backwards compatibility, I don't think you would have had much of a reason to buy one outside of a few games.
No, I mean it's got better graphics, it's got a better FPS, but no, well, as far as games go, the libraries are really small, and I'm hoping this year, 2022, and I hope 2023 even more. We get more games and better things, but it's yet to be seen.
Well, to be fair, I think God of War Ragnarok was supposed to come out.
Yeah,
And I say to be fair a lot because I'm really trying to be understanding in the situation we find ourselves in here. But God of War Ragnarok got delayed, not necessarily because of what's going on in the world, but actor got hurt.
yeah.
I mean, things like that. I think if God of War would have released this year,
Mhm.
it would have had a much bigger splash. But it just feels like
I agree.
like it was like a big splash at first, and just at the end of the year, bloop,
Yeah. I just felt like there was
nothing.
nothing. I mean, that brings us into kind of a segue into like availability of the system. When I think about it, I saw a 3-to-1 difference for about every three Xbox drops. I saw pop up. I saw one PlayStation pop up, and they always went out faster. So the availability is really bad on them, and the scalpers are doing really good with that. eBay price is still right now, I think, is $800 for one,
And Xbox is like what, 600, something like that.
if even that. Sometimes some of the Xboxes have dropped down to like 500. It's because there's so many more of them out there for them, and it's really sad. And again, we say this a lot: don't buy from scalpers. It just makes the problem worse. Uh, this year, 2022, because of the chip shortage, it's looking like it's going to be worse. So that's just a big in the column of this. I mean, recently Sony has announced that they're ramping up production on PS4s because they're just can't meet the demand of the PlayStation 5. That's scary. There's no incentive for companies to make games exclusively for the PlayStation 5 and take full advantage of the power of this sucker if the PlayStation 4 is more prevalent out there.
Well, moving on to another topic though. Accessories, and we'll talk about accessories and we'll move on to features. But accessories, I think that the PlayStation 5 did really good with accessories with the faceplates before Sony took them down.
Oh my God. These are the D brand faceplates that you used to be able to buy before Sony forced them to take them down. These are amazing.
I sense a U2 DCMA coming.
These are super nice. I love these, and I wish they could keep selling them. They're missing the PlayStation logo, but they're really well made. They work really good. They compared to the original ones, they do a great job of them. I have not got a hold of the new Sony PlayStation ones yet because they're not out. But I assume they're going to be just like the ones that came on the system,
but more expensive.
but more expensive because they added color to them.
And what I like about it is how much you can personalize your own console. Because we've done numerous paintings here. We've even did patterns on it, and I have seen some beautiful.
Oh,
I'm talking Bob Ross levels of paint
yes.
on these plates, and they look good.
There are so many beautiful things you can do with it. It's a blank canvas that you can do whatever you want to with. I personally painted mine red. I know that surprises anybody. Video below. It's very easy to do, and it helps you fight the "Hey Sony, don't don't take down other people's." I mean, there's still other third-party things third-party shells out there, but I kind of worry about the quality of those shells as compared to the PlayStation ones you're going to get, or versus the D brand ones, because the D brand ones are just they're thick boy.
And I know it's kind of a feature of sorts, but while we're on the faceplates, I love how easily you can remove these and clean the
Yes.
PlayStation 5. The Xbox doesn't have that luxury.
No, it is hard to get the Xbox clean. When we were cleaning these up for this video, this was super easy to clean up. And the Xbox, we were having to kind of get down in the nooks and crannies to try to get stuff out. Speaking of which, it's also, this is kind of a feature and kind of a accessory part of this. The SSD upgrade that you can do on these, in my opinion, is much better than the Xbox. A whole lot better.
Cheaper too.
A whole lot cheaper. I mean, what was it when they came out? It was $220 for an upgrade for the Xbox, and they can get them as low as $180. But still, that's a lot of money. You can get a SSD for this for. It was about that, but they've come down, and they're just going to keep dropping, and you're going to be able to put that in and have a huge backup for it.
And there's some that, even though they're not on the official compatibility listing, you can use with the PlayStation as long as it meets the speeds. It's certain read-write speeds it has to meet.
Right.
Or if you just want to store your, I think you can actually go slower if you wanted to store the PS4 games on it.
Right.
But don't go too cheap, because there are some M.2s that have caught fire.
Mm-hmm.
So don't go, when you buy this an M.2 SSD off of Amazon and it's like super cheap and it's some brand you've never heard of, ask yourself, am I willing to permanently destroy my PlayStation? You're probably thinking I'm being over dramatic, but these are things to think about.
Right.
Have I done it before? Yes, but I was willing to roll that dice and accept the consequences of it.
The more accessories. The Pulse 3D headset is amazing.
So good.
$100 for that? That is a great price point, and it works so well. I know he has used it on his computer. I've used it on my computer before.
I'm still using it on my computer.
You're still using it?
That's my main headset right now.
It works so good. The audio is great, especially like Demon Souls took full advantage of the 3D audio, and that's one thing that I'm really excited about. I know I'm jumping back to games here a little bit. But that's one thing I'm really excited about, is that we get more games that take advantage of that, because it was awesome. You could hear everything walk around you perfectly. I know that's surround sound, but it did such a good job. For $100 for that quality is kind of great, because you can spend upwards to $1,000 on an amazing audiophile headset and get, you'll probably get better quality, but no, probably you'll check in the game.
And let's just talk about the controller real quick.
Oh yeah.
I gotta hand it to him. It's good.
Yeah,
I like it.
I'm really, really impressed with the controller. The fact that this has a built-in battery that you don't have to buy separately. It is a $20 charge if you buy the official battery from Xbox. You can get some off-brand ones that are a little cheaper, but
they don't last.
They don't last as long. This one has a built-in battery. We, in our original video, were worried about the longevity of the battery, as far as how long would it last when we're playing. Haven't had a single issue.
Yeah, to be fair though, I think that a lot of that's from the past year. You remember the battery life of the PlayStation 3 controller?
Yeah, that was so bad.
And then the battery life of the PlayStation 4 controller.
Yeah.
Before they gave us the light dimming options.
Yep.
This one, I can leave it unplugged for months and it still have a decent charge in it.
Yep.
So awesome, and I think they did a good job with the controller. The black controllers, I love the black controllers. I know Xbox does the same thing with color controllers, but I really like the controller, except for the red one. The red
Yeah,
one.
again, my affinity for red, and it was not what I wanted it to be. It was very pink. Not that pink's a bad color. It's just not red. I mean, but I've got my own red controller that I've taken care of at this point. So
So let's talk a little bit about online services and
this is one that I
lack
was,
of Game Pass ish
yeah,
stuff.
this is the one thing we wanted to talk about last. And again, this video has been very off the hip. We didn't do a whole lot of let's talk about this video beforehand because we wanted our honest opinions on this because it's all
Aren't
we did was just basically let's confirm what games actually came out, but let's not actually talk about our opinions to one another because we want this to be this is actually what I think. Um, PlayStation's online service is falling behind tremendously, in my opinion. It Game Pass is king. Xbox says Game Pass is king. We talk about it in our Xbox video. I'll link it down below in more detail. But the cost versus what you get when you get the ultimate, being able to play on your PC, being able to play on all your stuff, getting all these new games as soon as they come out, it's ridiculous. It's so good. It's such an amazing deal. And in the world we live in today, subscription based services is king. Everybody wants you on a subscription based service, and they have done a good subscription based service where you get value for what you're paying for. Now, when it comes to PlayStations, in order to play online, you have to have PlayStation Plus. Granted, you get free games on PlayStation Plus, and there's some good games on there. But honestly, some of the time when they give all those games, I've already got them because I prefer physical copies of games. I love a collector. If you can't tell, I love to collect things. Um, and then in order to get, they came out with a new service, PlayStation Now, to try to compete with Game Pass, and in my opinion, it just kind of fell short.
Uh, and one important thing to note about PlayStation Now, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I don't
Please,
think I am on this one. Game Pass, you get the brand new Microsoft first party games day one.
yes.
I don't think Sony does that with PlayStation Now. I think you have to wait a couple months before it even shows up on that platform.
From what I have seen, yes, because I tried to look at it originally when it first came out, and I was just like, this just isn't worth it to me. The cost of those systems. And here's the thing: if you pay a full year, it's $60 for PlayStation Plus, and it's $60 for PlayStation Now. That's $120 to get both services. So it is cheaper than Game Pass. But if you don't pay by the year, it's $10 a month for Plus and $10 a month for Now. That's more expensive. So that's kind of the downfall we kind of get to with them. I hope Sony is revamping it. I've read some articles that they're looking at changing how it is and maybe even combining it with PlayStation Plus, which I think would be an amazing idea. I think would definitely help out. Um, but as of right now, I think Xbox Game Pass just destroys it. And I hate saying it because I am a PlayStation fanboy. The majority of my games that I have are PlayStation games. I just love PlayStation. I mean, we bought Resident Evil Village for PlayStation and played on it because that's tradition to us, and we wanted to keep that tradition going. So,
So, final thoughts.
final thoughts. Me personally, right now, with the PlayStation, the state it's in, with how everything's coming out, I think it's a great system. Let's start over. I think it's a great system. I think the system's got amazing potential. When I think exclusives, when I think exclusive games, great, powerful single player games, I think PlayStation. I always think PlayStation when I think, oh, there's this awesome RPG that's coming out. PlayStation, got to play it on PlayStation. Xbox doesn't even come to mind with that. Xbox is definitely more of a party game system to me, like Halo and stuff like that. Um, the issue is right now is that there is not enough exclusives for the PlayStation 5 to take advantage of its full power, its full potential. I think you can wait on it. I hate to even say that because I do like the system a lot. I like the idea of it and what we could do with it, but as of right now, it's just not enough.
And I mean, there's a reason why my PlayStation's been sitting on my entertainment stand. I haven't turned it on nearly as much as my Xbox.
Yep.
I do like Xbox a lot more, but I keep a PlayStation for the JRPGs, which Xbox is just not known for. Some of them get on there, you got Tales of Arise, some of the big ones, but this is the JRPG console, that and the Switch. But we don't count the Switch right now because Switch is interesting. Nintendo's doing their thing. Nintendo does what Nintendo does.
Nintendo do what Nintendo do.
And it works.
Yeah.
For them. I still love my Switch. I still play my Switch. But anyways, This is not a Switch video. But yeah, I mean, right now we're in that weird position where you don't really have to have a next gen console. You could still kind of be on the previous gen and benefit. Now, PlayStation has been the bigger example than Xbox has.
Yeah.
Xbox been way more generous about it.
Yeah.
Sony is like, hey, you got to get the PS5 if you want to play this game, which is great for those of us that were lucky enough to get one. I know I fought hard to get mine.
When that first week when it came out, when we were doing the reviews, we got lucky enough to get one for the BBG Studios and actually do the reviews that we did. Some of our earliest videos actually, we fought hard to get a hold of Conquer Corey one, and that first week we didn't. It was until like 2 months later or something.
Yeah. And we're not like other channels, we don't get, Sony doesn't say, hey, we're going to give you a fee. We're just like you in that we're waiting in those queues. We're fighting the crowds and
we're
stuff.
in the trenches with you.
So we understand the frustrations that can come from not being able to get one of these things. I was very fortunate. Now, I started off with the digital edition because I couldn't get nothing else. I got a digital edition, and then a disc edition come up, and I somehow, I don't know how, the stars aligned. I had that bow drawn perfectly, and I shot a unicorn that day. And then I just took and I sold the digital edition to my friend for MSRP. Just to kind of, it was nice because I ended up just paying like a $100 upgrade to get the disc version.
Yep.
And my friend who really wanted one got one. But like I said, right now there's not enough push to get it unless there's games, like I said, if you're a Demon Souls fan, which Demon Souls is long gone now. It's long past the initial "ooh, I gotta have it" phase. But it's hard to justify, and that's not Sony. I'm not gonna fault Sony for this. I'm not gonna fault Microsoft. I'm not gonna fault any developer for this because we're still feeling that delay from when the big one happened.
Yeah.
So right now, if you're beating yourself up, going, man, I really want a PS5, don't beat yourself up. You're not missing too very much at the moment. Now, maybe as this year starts to pick up, we might see some more stuff starting to come out. Like I said, we're still facing delay after delay after delay, and sometimes I wonder if we're going to even face more delays because the way things are looking right now. It's the world we find ourselves in. We're just making the best of it. But if you did get one, great. Hold on to it.
Yep. Good things are coming. I think I really believe good things are coming. I think we'll get great PS5 games in the future. And when 2023 gets here, we'll do another report card on these, and that by the time be like, you got to get one. You have got to get one. PlayStation has brought all the good games out. You've got to go out and get it. But right now, it's just not a point to get one. I mean, you can play most of the games on PlayStation 4, and I don't see that changing anytime soon right now. And then on top of that, if you have to buy from a scalper, it's just even worse. It's even more of a sting. It's just not there. But like you said, if you got one, great. I mean, I love mine. I really do. I enjoyed playing Resident Evil Village on it. I still enjoy playing Resident Evil Village. When I get bored, I will turn it on and play it. Of course, you know me. I love to play me some Resident Evil games all day, every day.
But what are your thoughts, though? Let us know down in the comments how you feel about how the state of the PlayStation 5 right now. Do you have one? Do you want one? And let us know, what your thoughts are. Do you think this year will be better for the PlayStation, or will it just be more what we saw last year? If you like this video, be sure to smash that like button. If you want to see more content like this, feel free to check out our channel where we do other reviews, including our end of the year, first year, and some change review of the Xbox. But as always, I'm your co-host, Conquer Corey.
And I'm Mike.
And we'll see ya.
ya.